Hello and welcome to another IT Portal training video. In this video, we're going to quickly talk about AD and SAML authentication. I'm going to explain how they work. I'm also going to show you some options that are pretty cool that'll speed up your user creation process. So right now, I'm just going to test the login process using SAML. With SAML, you typically want to log in with an email address format. So I'm going to go ahead and log into that. I am using 365 for authentication. As you can see, my username was automatically populated. I'll show you how you can enable that. And I entered my password, and now it's asking me for my one-time password. So I'm going to use our IT Portal password manager that I have in my browser. I'm going to enter that one-time password. Oh, looks like it expired already. Let me try that again. Should get a new number now. There we go. Now, as you can see there, I've logged in. I now have access to the portal. If I go to admin settings under authentication, this is where you set up your AD and SAML authentication. This generally works for on-premise, and this is pretty self-explanatory. Now for SAML, as you can see, my username was ac@siportalsandbox.com. For SAML authentication, the way that we automatically log in the users using SAML is by matching the domain name that we have here to their email address. So ac@siportalsandbox.com, match this, so it allowed me to log in automatically. Now with AD, when they go to log in, whatever username they log into the portal with, let's say I just log in as AC because that's my AD domain, my AD username. That username has to exist in the portal already. Now for SAML, we have some interesting options that I want to show you here. This you generally fill out with the KBs that we have. We have KBs for Office 365, for OneLogin, for a lot of different SAML providers. We also have a generic KB document on kb.itportal.com, so reference that so you can get those settings. Now, as far as these settings here, send username to SAML provider. We know that that works with the Office 365. It may not work with your SAML provider, but that'll, as you saw when I went to log in, it automatically entered my username for me, and it was because I had this option enabled. Auto create users, no documentation access by default. Let's say you have 20 users that you want to set up in the portal. This will automatically create the user account for them. It will not give them access. It'll just give them access to the portal to the my passwords, or basically the password plugin, as you saw that I used. There are some caveats to that. The first caveat for that automatic user creation process to work is that a contact does have to exist for that user. So as you can see here, there's my contact. Because we need to match every user account in the portal to a contact. You can't automate this process. We do have import process for AD to import contacts through here, and ideally you should if you're using Office 365, for example, you can also set up Office 365 to synchronize all those contacts using our Office 365 settings. So again, once those contacts are created in the portal, then if you enable that checkbox, users will automatically get created when they log in. And in those particular cases, this checkbox will be unchecked because, again, we don't want to just give users access to the portal without any permission. So once those 20 users log in, you would go in here, edit those users, and then assign the appropriate level of access, password access, and things like that. So now, one thing that I also recommend is that for AD or SAML authentication, let's say, for example, your portal server goes offline. Let's say the NIC fails on the portal server for on-premise, obviously, or just or if your SAML provider is down. We recommend that you add an additional user and just uncheck this checkbox so it doesn't take up a license. Make sure they're an admin, so that way you can, at the very least, manage your IT portal settings and log in and maybe adjust your SAML settings if needed. So the point is, don't want you getting locked out. Having an additional SAML, an additional user with admin access, that's maybe AC admin, for example. I also recommend that you enable some 2FA option, so that way that account is secured as well. So that is the general gist of AD and SAML authentication. Thank you.